So guys, back to another video. You've probably seen part one, or it might even be part two, depending on which way around I did these videos. But I am today going to be explaining the parts and the workings of the toilet. So in the previous video I was explaining how and why that siphon works, and the alternatives of using a flush valve system rather than the siphon system. You can still buy these, by the way. You can get them new, you can get various different models. However, they do come across as quite expensive to buy now, so generally speaking we do replace that. But we're not going to go on about that today. We're just going to smash this ballcock here like that, and hopefully show you the workings of how this one works. So inlet fillers and ball valves, or ballcock as we call it in Yorkshire. So this is the traditional method of refilling a system, is what was called a ballcock here in Yorkshire, and it simply works with an arm like that and a float, which this is a plastic float. Now back in the day this would have been a brass arm and you would have had a brass ball, and most of the workings would have been brass and copper, and there'd have been a washer in there, which there still is a washer in there. These were then replaced with plastic ones, and yes, you can still buy these, and you can also buy brass traditional ballcocks, like I said, the float valves. However, you don't get the copper ones as much these days, all the plastic balls. The simple reason for that is because copper tends to corrode, and I mean, I know it's generally got water in it, but the kind of things people put in toilets, like bleach and things like that, and all the detergents for cleaning toilets, they sometimes put them in the cistern and it does start to corrode the copper and everything, so they do fail. Now, traditionally speaking, you can just replace the washers in these if it needs repairing. Generally speaking, if I'm going to a house, I tend to replace the parts because plastic is not very good. It just tends to fail. You end up going back to the house several times, maybe in a few weeks, just to repair the same toilet. So sometimes it's just better to replace. It saves a lot of time in the long run. They're going to get more longevity out of the toilet as well, just by replacing the part. It's a bit like taking your car for a service and they replace the brakes, but they say, oh well, you've still got some wear in these brakes. Well, you've taken the brakes off now to have a look and see to condition. You might as well put some new ones back in. So this is basically what this is. Now, generally speaking, you can get to these from the top. I'm trying to get the washer out of this, by the way, and it's just I haven't got a screwdriver, so I'll just see it. There we go, I've got it out. That is a washer. It's a replaceable part. There's also a little funnel inside there that can also be replaced by removing the end bit here. Now this again is stiff, and this is the problem with plastic. It tends to go brittle. It's in cold water all the time, so it can tend to fail quite a bit. You can, you know, this is what I'm talking about, taking things apart and then trying to put things back together, and eventually it's like these little things here, these just snap off. Quite often I've snapped them trying to get them off because the plastic is just too brittle. This one is not in bad condition. I replaced it the other day for a filler valve because they're more reliable than these, but this is the problem with them. It's got a little plunger there and this bit starts getting worn. You can already see it's got teeth mark on it, so it's been replaced as the washer at some point. These screws tend to fail as well quite a bit, and it, like I said, it doesn't take long either once it starts going plastic. So I just tend to, it's just easier just to replace all the lot rather than mess about with it and come back to it later. I have replaced washers in these before and they just don't work because the plastic is just too worn. You can see that by the way the plunger is there. This is when that's coming up, it is pushing it in quite a fair way. There's a lot of tension on that when it fills up as well. So this is, like I said, you can still buy these. I mean, they still use them in central heating header tanks, which are normally a side entry one. This is a bottom entry one, and like I say, you can still buy them and you can repair them, but I'd rather have something that would last. Like I said, maybe 12 months down the line it could fail again, you maybe want adjusting, and you're just being called out to the same toilet all the time. Matter of opinion, obviously, but there you go. I mean, it is worth putting a washer in just to tide it over, but things are moving on in this world, and it's sometimes better to replace with a new part than it is to try and repair things. Now this is a inlet valve, and again it's just the same principle. Works with a float there. This is the float. You can adjust it up and down. You can adjust the little reservoir there, and this is a side entry one. Now, one thing to note with these type of inlets, water inlets, is they have plastic threads on them, and these quite often get stripped and de-threaded and cross-threaded, and all sorts of things go on, and they are prone to leaking, because you are fitting a brass nut to these quite often, and metal and plastic don't go well together, especially when you're needing to get quite a good tight grip on it. This is why they end up getting stripped. They quite often, like I said, fail. So again, this is one reason why replacing them, because the more modern ones now have a brass thread, which is a lot better. It's so much better than these. These are generally what come with the toilet as well, so they are cheaply made. And again, this is the same thing here. Probably came with the toilet, and I can already tell that's had the bits replaced. Now on this type of valve, this has a replaceable washer as well, but again I replaced this out of the toilet because I'd already been to it once, adjusted it, and there's the rubber perished. And this is what I'm saying about in my previous video, when we're sealing things up, we're using silicone to seal anything on the toilet, and like on basins here as well, because the rubber perishes, and you can see it started splitting in places. It's got weak, and this is why this has failed. So that's why we don't always replace these things, because like I said, the plastic's starting to get worn. It's not working efficiently enough, and it just feels flimsy anyway. So it's like what I said, they come with the toilet, and quite often, especially on toilets that have been in 10 years or whatever, they're just cheaply thrown together. So that people go to a store and see a toilet and go, oh, that's cheaper than that one. Well, they've probably compromised on parts, and you see, already now I'm struggling to get that washer back in there. It's not wanting to go back in. Maybe I've put it in the wrong way around, I don't know, but it won't. It doesn't want to know, does it? Oh, there you go, it's in going that way. But it's like I said, these bits on this now, they are starting to fail a little bit. So as it's going up there, it's got a bit too much spring in it, I think. So like I said, this particular toilet, I've been to it a couple of times and adjusted this, so I just decided to replace it with a new one. I won't have to go back, not for years, probably last my lifetime now anyway. But there you go, that's an inlet valve there. I'm going to show you that working on a toilet, on this particular toilet here. Usually goes in a cistern here. Well, I'll say usually, they always in a cistern. So I'll grab the camera now. This one's slightly different. This is a bottom entry, so there's a pipe there, it's going up through the bottom. Side entry, this would just come out the side like so, and not much difference between them as far as how they work. This one's got a few more bits of plastic on it, but we're going to grab the camera now and I'm going to show you it working. So here you go. This is the inlet valve here, and you can adjust it there, so you can put a screwdriver in there, but you can generally just do this with your fingers. So I'm not going to adjust it so it's right height. A few more bits and pieces that can possibly go on this. This has been in over 12 months, this toilet. But here's the flush valve here, so I'll press that. And it's emptied the water and it just starts filling up. Now, one thing to note with these type of things, some of them fill from the bottom, and that makes it a bit quieter, because you're not hearing the splashing noise of the water. This one happens to fill up from here. Now, they used to give you a piece of plastic that went on these, and they no longer do that, which would make it more of a silent filler. But this one will just fill up to the top now. It'll start entering the reservoir here, and it'll just push the flow up in a minute. And there you go, it pushes it up, pushes the arm up, presses down on the valve. Now, I'm not too particularly sure if you can replace the washer. In most of them you can replace the washer. Now, I'd only do that if in this case it had gone like in 2 to 3 years. So if that looked fine, you can already see the difference in the condition of the plastic as well, where it's not corroding or failing or anything, whereas on the other ones it's starting to go, so you know it's probably had its day and you need to get it replaced. So this is what I do. I tend to replace everything. If I'm taking the cistern out, I just replace all these bits and call it a toilet service, because they all need a toilet service. You see the bolts at the bottom start rusting as well. They quite commonly fail on a toilet as well. And like you can see, there's silicone around them, and that silicone protects the threads and everything, so it stops them rusting in the centre, because some water does creep down there sometimes, and it doesn't take a lot. And obviously these bathrooms and everything, they're not very they tend to contain moisture, the bathrooms, so you get moisture in the atmosphere which causes things to rust. So there you go, guys, that's the workings of a toilet. So there you go, we've discussed the toilet. So like I've said in my previous videos, if you do have any comments, or you need to know anything, or you're struggling with anything to do with the toilet or plumbing, I've been doing this a long time. I've had a lot of experience with plumbing over the years and over the decades. Something my dad did as well was plumbing, so he was doing that when lead pipe was available, which not many people know how to do lead pipe. And one of the things that my dad taught me to do was braze the copper onto the lead. You see that in Yorkshire quite a bit, especially where the mains was coming in, and you'd have to put a piece of copper pipe on to bring it in through copper. Nowadays a lot of it's push fit plastic, but you've got the press fit fittings for copper. I prefer to use solder. I don't think they're reliable enough, the press fits, but that's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. So now I've just digressed a little bit there. I'll just end the video, and just like I said before in my previous videos, don't forget to like the video, and if you've got any comments to leave, just leave them down below. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing, and we shall see you in another video. I will be making some more videos soon like this. I've been concentrating on shorts a little bit because they get more views and stuff. So anyway, not all about views though, but it just helps the channel's algorithms and stuff like that. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in another video soon. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again.